Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Oks Pod. And today I have a very special guest. Say hello.
What's up, guys? What's up? It's George Pappas here.
So today we'll be talking about the NBA free agency and trades that have happened since the NBA draft. So let's get right into it. Let's just start by talking about, the biggest free agents, and that would be Kevin Durant. So what is your opinion on Kevin Durant going to the Brooklyn Nets?
So, honestly, at first, I didn't like the move, but I think now seeing how weak the East is, that it was a decent move. Only concern I have is can he win with Kyrie? It's my question. What do you think?
The real question is, can Kyrie win games, period?
Especially by himself. Okay, I can pretty much say next year they ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you can agree with that.
they also paid DeAndre Jordan $40 million. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, modern NBA money, I guess he's like slightly overpaid, but like whatever.
The thing
Because
is,
it was a
like,
4 year.
did you see him play last year?
Yeah, he was pretty
The
abysmal,
man,
but
the man is Roy Hibbert 2.0.
yeah, except shorter too.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, he literally lost all of his athleticism, and that's literally the only thing that, that he was any good at
I
in the
know.
first place.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, I think that maybe that their goal, like for some reason, him and Durant are like really good friends. I don't know if you've heard that.
I mean, but still, to pay that much for a dude, like, you could have gotten someone better.
Yeah, I mean, but who are like this is a general question. I don't know. Like, who are the other like free agent centers in this class?
I mean,
I feel like they
Boogie,
were kind of weak. Oh yeah,
Boogie,
Boogie. Yeah,
Lopez, the two Lopez's,
two
Horford,
Lopez.
Vucevic. I
Okay, yeah,
guess you
you're
could
right.
you could say Porzingis was.
Yeah, but then he was going back to the Mavs. But yeah, you're right. They could have went after one of the Lopez's for sure, Boogie or something.
Yeah, Valanciunas was also a free agent.
Valanciunas, he went back to Memphis.
Yeah, Thomas Bryant.
I mean, that team, like that Nets team, is going to be interesting because they do have some decent role players. We know they got Dinwiddie. I don't know how he's going to play with Kyrie because if you notice, like Dinwiddie's more of like a kind of plays more like a point guard. So like D'Lo did a lot of off ball.
Yeah,
Kyrie doesn't really do that as much.
yeah. I honestly think the Nets got worse for at least this season.
Oh, 100%. This season, like Kyrie leading you, like, eh.
I don't even know. I think they may have been better off keeping D'Lo and keeping that team instead of risking it with KD and Kyrie because you don't know how KD's coming back. Like
Coming
it
back
would
from the
like
Achilles.
it would make sense for the Knicks because they were not good for like those two to go there, or for the Warriors to re-sign him because obviously but like it just doesn't really make sense for the Nets. They were already a playoff team. Their team was young, so they were gonna grow. Obviously, they actually had their picks now, so they're gonna get more young talent to add to that team. Like they didn't need to do that. I mean, obviously time will tell, but if KD is not like himself, that they may have just like doomed their team.
Oh, 100%. But obviously, like, I mean, what team is going to turn, like, it's hard to, like, it's hard to turn down Kevin Durant if he wants to play for you. But I
Yeah,
guess we'll see.
but
Like, you know
it's
what I mean? It's just like,
yeah,
they're
no,
going to be like,
no,
oh
it makes
shit, we need to
sense.
get Kyrie and KD. Like,
The thing is, it's if Katie's like, oh, you need to bring in DeAndre and Kyrie. That's like
yeah, DeAndre.
it's like it now for a team that like is already pretty good. Is it worth it to deal with the head case of Kyrie Irving, deal with the risk of KD, and then have
With
to
his Achilles, yeah.
yeah, and then have to pay DeAndre Jordan to literally do nothing because that's literally he literally unless he purposely just played like shit, like the last year, just because like he wasn't making the playoffs, so he just didn't want to try. Like maybe, but like I don't. I think he just fell off a cliff.
There's a rumor that he hated the Knicks and didn't get a lot of playing time.
I mean, he was on the Mavs too, and that's where he
Yeah,
signed.
yeah. I
So
mean, probably
like
really. I don't think he did much on the Nets either.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, he didn't like playing for the Knicks, so he didn't try hard for the Knicks, but you signed with the Mavs and you played, I'm pretty sure, most of the season with the Mavs. So what happened there? You can't say that the team didn't have like players, like talented players on that team. You know, you had Luka Doncic, who's, like gonna be an
Low key
MVP candidate.
transcendent player. Yeah,
Yeah,
that dude's one of the best rookies you've had in a long time.
yeah. So let's talk about the most recent signing, and that's Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, so honestly, I got a lot to say about this. Number one,
Okay.
I think that for his legacy, for Kawhi, he saved his legacy by not going to the Lakers. I think he would have been KD 2.0.
I
It would have
don't.
been a bitch move.
I
You don't think so
really.
because he's won his rings by
No,
himself?
I don't think that he was ever going to the Lakers. Yes, he was like giving them like, the like a talk because, obviously they're the Lakers and that was his team, but the 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 analysts who were saying that he was going to the Lakers, I don't see Kawhi going to the Lakers. He doesn't need it for the rings. He doesn't like the spotlight. He doesn't like the scrutiny. There's literally nothing that the Lakers offer him that he would want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Like I honestly I didn't believe it either, but man, the media and their freaking quote unquote sources
I
blowing smoke up everyone's
look,
ass keep saying
here's
like 96% to the Lakers. Chris Broussard and Jalen Rose, and a few other guys were like really saying he was going to the
I
Lakers.
think Jalen Rose was saying Toronto.
Oh, maybe not Jalen Rose, but Chris Broussard and somebody else were just blowing
Yeah,
smoke up the Lakers' ass.
yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. I think the reason that he took so long was the Clippers. Like he told the Clippers, "Hey, I'll sign with you guys if you get a star. If not, I'm going back to Toronto." I think that's what he made it clear, and that's what the Clippers were able to do that, and that's why he went there.
Man, it's honestly for him, it's perfect. He just got one running mate instead of like this trio of too much stars. He's
Yeah,
still in his hometown. It's a more low key team, and to be honest, they have like a pretty balanced roster.
yeah, they
And
did.
when you look at like their front office with combining with like uh, Doc Rivers at coach is very solid, and then Jerry West is one of the best execs in basketball, and people
Yeah,
like their owner Ballmer a lot, or what's his name, Steve Ballmer, I don't
yeah,
know, something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I think he's the CEO of Microsoft.
yeah. So
So I think he's the richest NBA owner for now.
yeah, that's what
Because
I
I
heard.
because I think the dude who's buying 49% of the Nets is going to be the richest owners. I think because he owns
Yeah,
Alibaba.
yeah. But either way, the
Either way,
Clippers
yeah,
are
he's going
just
to be
a
one of the richest
solid.
owners.
Yeah, they're a solid organization. I do. Okay, I'm gonna go out. I think that Paul George, as much as I don't like Russell Westbrook, I think he snaked Russell Westbrook in this situation.
How?
I I think he was way too much out front, like about like, oh, I'm coming back to OKC, like we're gonna do this. If he was kind of more low key when he signed, that'd be one thing. But I feel like just the way that he was so on board with going back to OKC, and they lose because okay, yes. Well, what happened is he played 2 seasons there. Uh, After the first year they lost, he signed. So literally, just 1 season later, he went back on his words like I'm staying and blah blah blah, and he just goes to the GM and requests a trade. Now I don't like Westbrook, but there was something about I don't really like how Paul George went about this. But I don't know.
Look, I think that he would have stayed, but Kawhi talked him into it. And I think
Yeah, and
I
he is
think
from California
I
too.
mean I
But
think the thing is it's just like I don't think he has a problem with Westbrook. I think he just had a problem with the team. Like obviously he would have stayed if obviously I'm pretty sure Kawhi. When Kawhi's like, hey, come to the Clippers. Clippers are
Yeah.
already super talented. Plus Kawhi. It just makes life a lot easier for Paul George. And it's not like he requested the trade after the season. I think he literally requested it the day that he got traded.
Yeah, or like I think I heard a few days before, but yeah, either way, it was recently.
Yeah, so it wasn't like he was pretty sure that he wanted to stay. That's what he wanted, and
then Kawhi changed his mind. So yeah, I'm not going full edge like he's a full snake, but just like a little bit snakeage right there.
I think the Clippers gave up too much.
You do? Dude,
I
I think
mean,
they think that Kawhi was going to the Lakers if they didn't get him.
still like I think that they gave up more for Paul George, like a better package for Paul George than the Lakers did for AD.
So what? Do you have the trade in front of you right now?
So it's 4 unprotected first round picks, a fifth pick that's I think lottery protected, some pick swaps, SAG, and Gallinari.
Yeah, and Gallinari, I think he's got kind of an overpaid contract, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. Probably not anymore in this matter.
Yeah,
NBA,
it's not like that bad.
Yeah.
Also, like here's my kind of thought process behind why I think that the Clippers gave up too much. I'd say AD's better than Paul George, and I don't think many people would argue with that.
No.
I personally think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is better than Lonzo Ball and has more potential than Lonzo Ball.
Okay. Fair.
I think this is my gut feeling, but I think Ingram is out of the league in 2 years.
Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, because of the blood clots. Because of the blood clots.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, not because he's not talented. I'm saying he's out of the league 2 years because of the blood clots. I have a feeling that the blood clots are gonna come back towards the end of the season. He's gonna have to sit out, and then he's gonna be medically unable to play, just like Chris Bosh was.
Yeah, dude, and those blood clots are no jokes. Like they literally ruin careers.
Yeah,
like,
that's what
Bosh never came back.
Chris Bosh never came back. Teletovic retired as soon as he got diagnosed. The thing is, the only way to not get blood clots is to use blood thinners, and that's like you can't play any sport with any type of contact when you're on blood thinners.
Yeah, because it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, I don't even think that the thing is, he's probably still on the blood thinners or coming off them. So when he comes in this season, he's probably going to be a little bit rusty at the beginning because he's probably not going to be able to do much real practice. He could shoot and stuff, but he can't. Plus, it's also in his shoulder, so he might not even be able to shoot because it probably affects that hand, that arm that he's using.
I totally, for some reason, just because it didn't cross my mind, I thought you were saying he was just gonna be out of the league.
Oh no,
he sucks. I'm no. It's gonna be at least 18 for you.
No,
We'll get you as 18, 20,
medical.
16. Okay, medical. Fair.
So that's why. And then Josh Hart is he's an okay player, but he's not. He's like a role player.
Yeah, he's not gonna change your franchise. He's Josh
Hart.
But
so I'd say that Ingram plus Hart equals Danilo Gallinari, because Gallinari's he's gonna get you 20 points per game. He's when healthy, he's he's a fringe all-star. He would be an all-star in the East.
He could put the ball in the bucket when he's healthy.
And he's a good defender. So they gave up a lot more. I think that the Clippers like the deal would have been fair if it was just Danilo Gallinari, the 5 picks, and the pick swap.
But you don't like how they added in Shy in that trade?
Yeah, I mean,
He's a good player. He's a lengthy ass point guard. He's like a 6'6" point guard.
in my opinion, Shea is like you could get 2 firsts, maybe even 3, depending on the team, for him.
I see.
Like,
But
okay,
you know, there's always. Okay, go ahead.
obviously, if it's like, you know, a top 5 pick, then maybe it's just 1 pick. But like, if you're a team like OKC and you were to trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and you're gonna get, your picks are gonna be in the 20s. You got to get three first rounders for at least 2 first rounders for him, because he was a lottery pick. So 2 picks from the 20s to get into the lottery makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's already shown that he's like really good. So you might have to get 3 picks. Obviously, the 2 of them might be protected, but it's still 3 first rounders, in my opinion.
No, you make a fair point. I mean, one can argue that they did give up too much, but there's always that golden rule, like, whoever, you don't lose the trade if you got a star out of it, because stars are hard to come by in the NBA.
That's true.
Like, it probably was at least a wash. And if you wash and you get Paul George, like, I mean, dude, Paul George, I'm not saying he's going to replicate that, but he had a season I never thought he could have had last season.
That's true. I think
he literally was like a 1A. Like, I always thought of him as like a 1B, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but last season he was a 1A. Like, he was good as shit. And him, Kawhi, and Pat Beverly defensively together.
Yeah, I want to like. I'm just like, I get angry when people are like, "Oh, the Lakers and the Clippers are the 2 best teams." Like, no. Even before Kawhi signed anything, I didn't even think the Lakers were. Like, they weren't even they're not the best team. Like people gotta stop it. Like,
no, I think there's a big cluster. I think that nobody's far ahead and better than anybody.
Like,
and let's see if we agree on some of the teams we're about to say.
Okay, the Utah Jazz are up there.
One of the best teams in the West.
The Nuggets.
Yep.
So obviously you still have. I mean, Portland's still a really good team.
Dude, I like this Blazers team with Hassan Whiteside. They brought back Rodney Hood.
Can people stop sleeping on the Trailblazers? Every single year, they sleep on the Blazers. You got 2 guys who are, in my opinion, all-stars, where McCollum's kind of like a fringe all-star. You got a better surrounding core than what the Lakers have. And the way it's looking, they might have LeBron James having to run around guarding Damian Lillard.
Yeah, seriously, because the way that the Lakers, you might just have like no point guard. You might just have to have James, 35-year-old James at the 1.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you have Danny Green, who's a good defender, but you're one of Dame Lillard or McCollum is gonna force one of your either big men or LeBron to run around defending.
That's why these guys might have to start KCP, because
KCP's not even on that team.
I thought he's.
No, I don't. He hasn't signed anywhere.
Thought he signed like a 2-year, $16 million.
No, I'm pretty sure he's still a free agent.
He resigned 10 hours ago, so he just resigned.
Oh, okay.
And then JaVale resigned because okay, I think they're gonna have to have James at the 3, whatever, Kuzma at the 4, and Davis at the 5, and they're gonna have to start 2 guards, because this whole LeBron at point guard thing is at 35 years old is not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, KCP's a bad defender, so you know.
I know, but just starting 2 guards, he's still gonna be a way better defender than.
But who's gonna like handle the ball?
Okay, on offense, we know LeBron can handle the ball, but I just think they need 2 guards in there for defense.
Yeah, but KCP is not
as a bad defender. Okay,
yes.
But it doesn't matter. There's a difference between being a bad defender and like having someone guard that's not their position. Like,
That's
That's
true.
literally not even their position. He's 35 in December. Like, he doesn't play defense as it is anymore.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
I think that unless they get, there's rumors that they might get Boogie, but I don't know if they should play this big lineup because, like, I don't know. We'll have to. I think we gotta have to. The Lakers are the team we are gonna have to come back to on our next podcast when they're all done.
yeah.
Because I feel like they're not done yet with whatever they're doing.
It
Well, we know.
there's
As we were talking about the Blazers are looking good for next season.
yeah.
I mean, Hassan Whiteside is a good player.
Yeah, I think
opinion.
people have to realize the reason why he was benched was because Bam Adebayo was just playing ridiculously well. It wasn't because
Yeah.
Hassan Whiteside was playing it wasn't because he was bad. It's just because the person in the depth, like Hassan Whiteside and Bam, neither of them can play the four.
No,
And
not at all, obviously.
so you give 35 minutes to a dude at the 5. There's only 60 minutes in a game. Hassan's not going to get that much time because there's not much time left.
Exactly. So, like, that's why when people say that, like, if you look at Hassan, like, he was efficient in the minutes he was getting if you look up his stats.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's just a big body. He's a legit 7-footer. He's
Yeah.
freaking, like, he's big. He's jacked. He's going to help the middle. I mean, because if Nurkic, like, obviously we're going to have to see how he recovers from that horrible injury.
Yeah,
But, I mean, if they
that's
can
true.
somehow get him back. They brought in, okay, I know they brought Hood back. They traded for Whiteside. And I think they did one more thing that I liked. Or maybe I was just thinking about Nurkic coming back. But either way, I mean, those, in my opinion, like, Rodney Hood coming back he was good for them. Oh, I think they brought back, hold on, let me look this up. Either way, solid team.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell. They got Bogdanovich out. Dude, that guy is good.
Plus, they still have Ingles to shoot.
Ingles.
They still
They got the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year over there.
Yeah, like, people are... I hate when people are like, you know what team is low-key good? The Utah Jazz. It's not low-key anymore if everyone's...
high-key.
Yeah.
Dude, the Utah Jazz,
Yeah.
this is a hot take, might be the best team in the Western Conference right now.
I still like the Denver Nuggets over the Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz.
Yeah, because
similar.
The thing is, the Denver Nuggets proved that they were a good team. They didn't lose anyone, and now they're getting Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, they're young.
And Bol Bol.
And Bol Bol. They're young guys who are going to develop. They got playoff experience under their belt. Their team, is just deeper. Obviously, last year they had some guys who got fluke injuries, like Will Barton. He was out for a little bit, and Craig was out for a little bit. That were more like freak accident injuries than the type of injuries that concern you. So they're gonna most likely be a little bit healthier this year. So they're gonna obviously win. I mean, they were the first seed for the first 3 months of the year, and then they were battling with the Warriors for the number 1 seed for the majority of the year.
You're right, because they've proved that that group of guys can play together well, and they're only getting a year older and adding new guys to the mix. They brought back Millsap for one more year, who's still solid.
Woj just announced that
the Westbrook thing.
Yeah.
So actually, that's a good topic for us to talk about. What team should go after Mr. Westbrook?
I think that here's my opinion on Russell Westbrook. Westbrook is not a good player. He puts up stats, but his stats don't mean wins. He's inefficient with his shooting. He gets passes, he gets assists, but they're all on pick and rolls. They're not really he's not a great passer. He's good, but he's not great. He only has great assist numbers because he just runs pick and rolls, and most point guards are good at assisting from there. And he's not able to shoot from the line anymore. He's his percentages have gone down and everything. There's just like he used to be good and he just kind of fallen off.
And his rebounds to me are worthless. I don't care how many
Yeah,
rebounds.
point guards to get like low key. I don't like rebounds. Don't matter to me. The only rebounding stat that matters is offensive rebounds. If you get offensive rebounds, that's different because defensive rebounds 90% of the time it like when it's for the point guard, it's literally just like the centers are boxing out and you just get
they just come grab it.
It also like
especially in the Thunder. That's how they roll over there.
It also sucks for like for some big men. Like I know that Robin Lopez had like bad rebounding stats this year, but he was just like boxing out for the other guys to get the rebounds. Like he, like rebounds to me don't really paint the entire picture.
Oh no, I agree with you 100%. Like I'm sure you know from my first year at school that I'm not a Westbrook guy, so you know that. So I think that obviously he's still a good basketball player. I'm not going to go on a limb and say he's ass, but he's probably, I don't even know if he could be he probably has to be your second best player.
Second?
Team.
He's
definitely can't be your first best.
Yeah.
Because, him and Paul George were like tied in year one, and then Paul George was better than him this year.
Yeah, I mean, but what team would want a what contending team would want a Westbrook?
Because let's actually, me and you both, let's pull up teams. Let's try to think of because we're both not Westbrook guys. Let's try to not be biased and see what team can maybe try to get Westbrook. Yeah, I heard a rumor that our Bulls are going after him, and I do not like the sounds of that.
I mean, it depends on what they trade for him. Look, if they give up fucking Denzel Valentine and fucking some other
True.
And Denzel Valentine and Chris Dunn.
I heard Chris Dunn was in the mix for sure.
Dunn, Denzel Valentine, and a pick for him. I don't think that's bad.
No.
It's not a bad trade, but I wouldn't want him on the team. If he's on the team, obviously I'll root for him and stuff, but I'm not trying to want him to be on the Bulls team.
Yeah, he's not really gonna help us because he would probably just put us in some weird spot where we're kind of good but not great because our team is all young and developing, so we're probably better off than not. I mean, whatever. We'll see what we offer him, but the Bulls are apparently in the mix.
Okay, I think
these random rumors.
The only team that I could see trading for Westbrook is the Pistons.
Okay. Dude, hey, you know what? I mean, that could do something with him, Blake, and Andre Drummond. Derrick Rose backing him up. I mean, dude, the East is shit, bro. The East is bad. Right
I know, but think about it. How big of an upgrade is Westbrook over Reggie Jackson? It's an upgrade.
Oh, huge, in my opinion. I don't like Reggie Jackson.
It's a huge upgrade, but they went 41-41.
Right.
Is he that much of an upgrade where teams they're not going to be better than the Bucks. They're not going to be better than the Sixers. They're not going to be better than the Celtics. They're not going to be better than the Pacers. They're not going to be better than the Nets. So
they could be Brooklyn without KD.
I mean, I think the Nets, their record isn't really showing of how well they played because LeVert, who was looking like he was going to make the All-Star team, got injured and he didn't play for a huge chunk of time, but he got a fluke. I think he broke, he landed weird and broke something. So it's just it was a fluke injury. So I think the Nets are going to be better. You're
saying Pistons with Westbrook even? Is that what you're comparing?
Yeah. So the best they could do is the 6th seed, and that's not including if low key the Heat might do better than the Pistons because adding Jimmy Butler is a lot.
Something that definitely helps them.
I think Jimmy Butler an addition of Jimmy Butler is definitely much better than the addition of Russell Westbrook.
And like even like a team like Orlando that was hot at the end of last season, they could continue that into this season. They got some decent young players over there.
Plus, the Pistons have to give someone up. The Heat, we already know who they gave up for him. So like,
but they're just the type of team that I could see doing that.
Yeah, but
because
I just don't think it's worth it.
Was kind of similar.
Bro, and Boogie Cousins agrees to join LeBron and AD in LA.
I had a feeling. I don't know if I said it on this podcast.
You did.
Man, I don't know. That could do something. I just hope they don't do this big, huge lineup where they have like Kuz at the 2.
Well, let's see. They have to. Okay, the starting lineup has to have Boogie, AD, and LeBron.
Okay, yeah.
So either
does Boogie have to start on this team?
Yeah, because because AD wants to play the 4.
He does want to play the 4. I know
so
that.
The only way that you can have him play the 4 is if someone plays the 5, and Boogie's realistically the only person that you'd have play the 5 over having Kuzma on the floor.
So I see something on Twitter that has a sample lineup. Tell me what you think of what the Lakers will roll out next year. It would be the backcourt would be Quinn Cook and Danny Green, and then the 3 that you mentioned to fill out the front court.
Wait, Quinn Cook signed with the Lakers?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he signed cheap. I love his guy for them.
Wait,
2 years,
$6
million.
When did he sign it?
Yesterday or yesterday night or this morning or something.
Then I don't know, because the Warriors still can match, right? Because he's a restricted.
I don't know. People are acting like he's officially on the team, so maybe. Some other lineup has LeBron actually starting at the 1, then Danny Green. Then they're apparently going to sign Marcus Morris, AD, and Boogie. First of all, I'd rather start Kuzma over Marcus Morris, but they did sign Marcus Morris.
They signed Marcus Morris too?
No, they didn't.
Okay, I was about to say, like, there's a lot of when have the half of these signings I hadn't even heard happen.
They don't even need freaking Marcus Morris. They have enough forwards. They need some guards.
Yeah, but I mean, Marcus Morris makes sense because he's like a defender, and since LeBron doesn't really defend anymore, Plus Morris is like a good 3-point shooter, so like he would be more of like a. I think Marcus Morris low key is a better fit than Kuzma next to LeBron, because neither LeBron nor Kuzma play defense.
Are defenders.
Yeah.
True. Okay, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, like that would just be a lot of offense, but literally no defense.
And then Boogie's not defending, so this entire Quinn Cook's also not he's a bad defender. Right now, you have two of the 5 players who can actually defend.
AD and Danny Green.
Yes. So,
and at least those 2 defend it well. They defend very well.
I mean, Danny Green is
getting older.
Is getting older. So like he's a good defender as long as he doesn't have to guard like super fast guards. Like he could defend a Klay Thompson. He could somewhat defend CJ McCollum, but if you ask, since he is the best guard defender on that team, having him guard a Westbrook, a Kyrie, any real point guard, it's not looking good. I think low-key the Warriors would be able to beat this team, even with Klay Thompson out.
We've done a good job covering shit. We have not talked about D'Lo to the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not that, in my opinion, that big of a deal.
Now, I've heard that they are only using him as a rental, and they might actually just dump him at the deadline.
I mean, look, it was a great decision by the Warriors. I think it was a good decision by the Nets because, the Nets guaranteed that D'Lo was now out of the East, and on a team that they probably won't see in the finals, because I really don't think that the Warriors are going to make the finals. So I don't know. They guaranteed that D'Lo was not going to go to any Eastern Conference team, and they guaranteed that he's not going to at least for free, a team that is really going to contend. I meant contend for the championship.
I wonder how him and Steph are gonna play together.
I mean, they're going to play well because I feel like Steph can play off ball, D'Lo can play off ball, so you can have sometimes D'Lo runs the point, sometimes Curry runs the point because they're both guys that can definitely play the two. You know what I mean? As soon as Curry gets in 2 years, they can literally put a point guard and have Clay play the 3, Curry play the 2, and then have a young point a young point guard play the point and actually facilitate and do that type of stuff because both Curry can definitely play very well off the ball, and I mean Clay, we know can definitely play off the ball. So I think that the Warriors will make it work. It'll definitely work.
But I think we both agree they will not.
I think they'll make the playoffs.
No, the playoffs. It's the finals.
Low key, I think the Rockets might fall out of the playoffs.
Out of the entire playoff picture?
Yeah, because I don't think they're better than the Nuggets. I think the Jazz have passed them. I think the Lakers will do better. I think the Clippers will do better. So there are already 4 teams. The Trailblazers are a better regular season team. They've proved it, in the past.
Yeah.
So that's 5. Obviously, they also improved, and then so that's 6, 7, and 8. But then you still got the Dallas Mavericks of the world, who the Spurs who make the playoffs every single year. It's
not. I mean, you could LaMarcus and DeMar. That's not a scrubby team.
Yeah, I
think the Rockets will get in there right at the bottom somewhere.
You also have to think about it. The Mavericks, they're adding Porzingis to that team. Plus, they're adding shooting with Curry. So the Mavericks.
Oh, the Kings too.
The Mavs got better.
Kings are up in time.
The Kings are more experienced. Obviously, I don't think did they sign anybody?
No, but consider I just think that everyone's gonna improve a little bit.
Yeah, and then Timberwolves, they're gonna stay out of the playoffs. The Grizzlies, the Grizzlies improved a lot. They're gonna stay out. I mean, so really, it's they might sneak in with the 7th or the 8th seed, but they'll be destroyed by the 1st and the 2nd seed. So even if the Rockets make the playoffs, they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're not. They really needed Jimmy Butler. And after that didn't happen, I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, so
because their role players they've gotten worse. I mean, they need to get rid of bum ass Clint Capella.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's gonna be hard.
Paul's only getting older.
Yeah.
They need an addition. Like I said, if they got a Jimmy Butler, they'd be in the mix, but they did not do that.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Al Horford signing for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay, so
or actually wait, I think we skipped Kemba Walker. Let's start with Kemba the Celtics.
Okay. I think that he will just be a better version of Kyrie over there.
Yeah, I think the Celtics got worse during the offseason. Kemba wasn't the reason why. Kemba's an improvement over Kyrie, but I think that the team got worse because they lost Al Horford and they lost Scary Terry.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's in Charlotte now.
Yeah, I mean, like he wasn't a good
I
player,
know
but
if it's
you know, he was a good
good
backup.
backup though. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that it's all about it's for them. It's all about can those young guys, can Tatum and Brown take the next step? Now they didn't last year.
I don't. I think people have to stop overreacting to the playoffs. So these guys had a good like 2 playoff series. They had 14 game stretch where they were good. That doesn't mean anything. They have not shown in the regular season anything. Like people have to
I
stop
know.
overreacting over players playing well in the playoffs. Like, okay, they played well during the playoffs, and can they translate that to the regular season? Nope. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like they stepped up once. That's great. Look at Rajon Rondo. He stepped up for the Bulls when they were in the playoffs when it was the three-headed dragon. Guess
Hmm.
what? He did in the regular season. He played like trash. Let's look at some other
You're
guys
right.
who played really well in the playoffs in the past. Like there's always like
Delhi.
Dellavedova played well
Yeah.
in the playoffs. He is
Yeah.
ass. It's just
Yeah.
like just because you played a good good once in the playoffs doesn't mean you're good. It's the same thing with like the NCAA tournament. Just because somebody plays good in the NCAA tournament but is shit during the regular season, that just means that they were just having like a good
They got
stretch.
hot. Yeah. That
It's just like
happens. Yeah.
people get hot, you know? It's also
Hmm.
because whenever like during the regular season, you know your assignments a little bit more. These guys weren't good in the regular season, so when the playoffs they were playing a little bit better than they were expected. The teams weren't prepared for it.
And I'll say that honestly, Tatum wasn't even good in this year's playoffs. He was bad against the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, can like people just
But
gotta.
those guys are the key. Like I'm not saying they're good, but like that's the only way the Boston's gonna be relevant in the playoffs is that those guys can actually turn into good basketball players.
Yeah, I'm. I don't think Brown's gonna turn it into anything. I think Tatum is not gonna turn into what people are saying he's gonna turn into, but it's he's gonna be a good player, but he's not gonna be this perennial all-star.
No, like I don't even think he's gonna make the All Star team next season.
He might make like I think like 2-3 all-star teams in his career, but he's not gonna do more than that.
Yeah, you can just tell like when a player does not change their averages from their freshman to sophomore year is supposed to be like a big growing period for like look at like what De'Aaron Fox did
The
from
the
his
only
freshman and sophomore
the
year.
only time that you see a drop off if someone has a great rookie year, then you're expecting the sophomore year to be a huge decline, but that always happens.
Yeah,
Like
but I feel like that's more football. I feel like in basketball they usually get better.
no, you see a big decline because usually if a rookie does really well, the team leans on you more, so they take more shots, and they're now the number
Yeah, I guess
one.
Mitchell's percentages went down a little bit,
Mitchell played a
but
little
like he
bit
still was
worse.
good.
Simmons played a little bit worse, but they didn't have a step up. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But like
Hmm.
Tatum also did that kind of like slight regression, but he wasn't good in the first place. You can't regress from below average.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, he does get us like 15 points a game, but you know, in the modern NBA,
That's
or
not that's not
that much.
that's not
Yeah,
hard. That's not hard.
yeah, dude. There's players who are like average as fuck, then go get you like 12.
Yeah. I mean, let's think of just an average player. Fucking Kuzma's an average player. He gets you 18.
I mean, dude, Terrence Ross gets you points.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Vucevic.
bad percentages, but he gets you
Vucevic
points.
gets you
Like, it's
20.
not hard. In this NBA, it's not hard to get you points. So for anyone listening, like, yes, we know fifth, like, because people will say, "Oh, Wiggins still gets his like." We know the numbers aren't bad, but in this modern NBA, they're not that impressive. And then
Yeah.
when you look at the percentages that go with it, with the Wiggins of the world, you're like, nah.
This like that's also the argument for why like everyone's just like, yeah, if Michael Jordan played in this NBA, like he wouldn't be as good. Like What do you mean he's not going to be
What do you
as
mean he's not
good?
going to be as good? He's going to score. He's the best scorer of all time. He's going to average 40 a game in this NBA.
Like also the argument that like I know this is like the LeBron MJ discussion, but when people are trying to say that LeBron James has more points over his career and more rebounds over his career and more points over his career, well, first off, it's not. It doesn't like. I'm not even talking about longevity. The pace in the modern NBA is faster, so there's more shots taken per game, so there's more misses per game, so there's more rebound opportunities per game. So of course a dude is gonna get more rebounds now than he did in the past because there's more opportunities to get rebounds. There's more opportunities to get assists. There's more opportunities to get points.
That's why people like Westbrooks exist. That's why people like Harden's exist, and that's why like random fucks like Andre Drummond are getting like 16 rebounds a game nowadays.
That's why when people are saying that James Harden should have won MVP, no, he shouldn't. Like,
yeah, he was just fun. I'm a Giannis MVP
guy. Can people stop? Like, okay, he put up the most points since Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan also was in an era where they took a shit ton less shots. Way
less threes.
Way less threes. The defense, obviously, with a 3-second rule in the paint, especially with less threes, with like players like Shaq just being able to just stand in the paint the entire fucking game. Like, come on, like that's a lot harder to score. Like, I'm not saying that players in today's NBA wouldn't be able to score in the past NBA. I'm just saying that, like, a guy who can only drive is gonna have a lot harder time in the past because of the rules that help the big men in the past, or the rules that have hurt the big men in current NBAs.
So I think that like the average player, with the way it's taught, in this sense, like the average role player is a little more skilled nowadays.
Yes.
But I think that people like Jordan would feast in this type of play.
Yeah. The top players in any NBA would still be a top player in any, like...
Exactly.
If Wilt Chamberlain was in the modern NBA, he would still be,
Oh, he would still be a B. Look at his, like, athletic abilities. There's another person who gets... Look, I know he's not going to average, like, 50 points and, like, 30 rebounds, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to dominate these pretty below-average NBA centers nowadays.
Like, I mean, dude had, like, blocks weren't even, like, calculated in his time.
Exactly. And he probably was blocking, like... I mean, that dude's vertical. I forget there was a stat. He had, like, a 400-pound bench, a 40-something-inch vertical, 7'1", like... 275 pounds.
Dude, I
like a really fast 40.
I don't think any modern NBA player who's that like 7 feet or above have a 40-inch vertical. 40-inch verticals are like reserved for like athletic point guards.
Yes, and Wilt. I mean, you know what I'm talking. I think you've heard that too, right? He had some like crazy stats.
Yeah, like he was just a superhuman.
Yeah.
Like Bill Russell would be. Bill Russell like is basically Tim Duncan, but maybe like a bit stronger.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, people gotta stop saying that modern NBA is so much better. It's better because the average player is better, but the stars in every...
The stars are not.
Always...
I also don't want to hear... I also don't want to hear there's two sides, of course. I don't like being extreme in any direction. You got the people who say modern NBA, and then you got the people who are like, oh, if LeBron played in Jordan's era, he'd only average like 14 points. Like, no. The top players are the top players for a reason.
Yeah.
And they'd be good in any era. Would he average less points? Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be like, 14 points a game. Like, come on, get out of here with that shit.
He would average, like, any person put into the past will average less points. Because it's just a slower game, so you get less shots. So it's just like a different, it's a different style.
It's a different game. Of course he'd average less points. I'm not dumb, but like to go from like 28 to like 14 is ridiculous. Like he's still going to be in the 20s. The thing that made Jordan good is that he's that he was one of the only guys back then that had crazy scoring numbers.
Yeah, like the thing is that Jordan just like it just came effortlessly to him. Also, LeBron kind of has the issue with his free throws. I mean,
Yeah,
the man
that was bad.
for a goat or like as someone who's in the goat conversation to have such bad free throw numbers. I mean, it's a bit embarrassing.
It is. I some years he's like, but this year he was horrible.
I think.
He's shot like 75, which is not great, but
I
you could
mean,
deal with it. But he was like 68
but
this year.
75% being like you only getting above 75% in your career once. That's a bit, you know.
It's a bit low, but it's if you notice the guys are like that LeBron James build are not good free throw shooters most of the time.
That's true, but I mean,
I don't know why.
Paul George is like his build. Paul George isn't as
Yeah, but
bad.
he's not like the beefcake that LeBron like that just that yoked.
I guess, but like I mean, the thing is, it's just like he's been in the NBA for so long to not have like at like an 80% free throw shooting by now.
Yeah, that's his weakness.
That's my concern. It's just like he was also bad. Like in the beginning of his career, he wasn't a good 3-point shooter. It's just like there's always something that like people like say about him that like he needs to improve. But I just feel like I've never heard like a flaw that Michael Jordan had. And whenever someone like there was like I know that you've heard of it, but like someone called him out for not being able to shoot threes. The next game, he made 9 threes.
Yeah.
Just to show that he can shoot threes if he like make threes if he wants. Like, he just doesn't want to.
Literally, it's funny because if he wanted to be a better shooter, he would have. Like he had like such an average 3-point percentage, but like
yeah, because
if he wanted to,
because like the only times that he would shoot threes is like he would take bad threes. Like if he like would take threes instead of like driving to the lane, like dancing around everybody, just taking these like ridiculous shots, he would make it. Most mid-range shooters are not horrible 3-point shooters.
No, except DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, but he's an anomaly. Like
he
even
is an anomaly.
Like even LaMarcus Aldridge, who's a big guy who can like shoot the mid-range, is like for being a bit like that type of big, he's like decent at threes. Carmelo's not awful at threes. He just doesn't want to shoot them.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I would say that like back to our thing that the one thing at least LeBron has done is he's become a pretty solid jump shooter. Like it's pretty clean stroke.
Yeah. Rajon Rondo just signed
he's a slightly who did he sign with?
With the Lakers.
Okay, so he's back. So the Lakers have just got all these. See, they got some decent players, but they're just gonna have to try to make this team work.
I mean,
they probably have all these guys on like cheap contracts.
The Lakers, I think, still have a hell of a lot worse team than the Clippers. Okay, let's just compare the like by position, right?
Okay.
I would take Patrick Beverley over Rajon Rondo.
Barely.
If you look at his 3-point percentage, like Patrick Beverley can actually shoot threes now. He's a better defender than Rondo and can shoot threes.
All right.
So I'd take that. I'm gonna take a quick look at the Clippers roster because we know who's playing for the.
Well, it depends on what lineup they're gonna run also.
But like,
I don't know if they're gonna go small or big.
But either way, it's a we have approximately their roster. No,
yeah, we have their roster, but like, there's a big difference between sliding Paul George to the 2 or putting him at the 4.
True.
Do both.
Okay, Lou Williams is better than
a better 6-man than anyone the Lakers have. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because he's the best 6-man in the league. So.
Yeah. Who's their 2 guard?
They have Danny Green and KCP as probably their main.
No, I'm looking at Clippers.
Oh, they're starting to?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Shamet. They have Shamet. No.
Let's look at the Clippers roster.
Do you hear me? Landry Shamet might be their starting two-guard.
Yeah. Oh, they also got Harkless, didn't they?
Yeah, they do. But he's kind of average.
Yeah.
But good
Oh, they also
veteran
got
experience.
Wilson Chandler.
Yeah, he'll be off the bench. But yeah, that's a good bench. Okay,
Yeah.
Clippers might have a better roster, but the Lakers might almost have more depth now
The
because Kuzma
Lakers.
is a good player.
Okay. Look.
Bogey could be a good player.
Okay.
Rondo's still there. Danny Green. Obviously, no AD
Let's
and
look
LeBron.
at this. Let's just name the five starters for each team. At least what we think will be the starters for the 5 teams, right?
Okay.
So it'll be Rondo, Green, LeBron, AD,
Davis and
Cousins.
Bogey. So
So
they're gonna have Kuzma off the bench.
Kuzma off the bench. Well,
Okay.
the Clippers would have Pat Bev, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Harrell, and
Maybe Harkless or Shamet.
Harkless, Shamit,
Whatever. Yeah, we get the point.
or Chandler.
Yeah.
So obviously,
The Clippers are built where they're not really they're gonna play positionless basketball. They got a lot of 6'7", 6'9" dudes on their
yeah.
team.
And
But,
then
they're
Lou
not gonna really
Williams.
have
Lou
position.
Williams is a better, obviously, better guy off the bench. And then if we look at the depth, the Clippers got Magruder, who I think is probably better than anybody else they got on the bench. They got Zubac, who I think is probably better than anybody else on the bench. Except for, and then Wilson Chandler. I think that the Clippers have a more depth.
Just a better overall roster.
Better overall roster and a little bit more depth.
Yeah, the Lakers have a chance if the players pan out. It's a lot of
it's a lot more what ifs.
It's a lot more what if because a good boogie is if you get a decent boogie with LeBron and AD and Danny Green, it just depends.
They would
the Clippers are more set in stone.
Yeah, and yeah. So let's move on to the
That's
next.
That's a good debate though.
Next who's another free agent that we haven't talked about yet? Big. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler. We didn't talk too much about him.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler to the Heat. That was a big surprise to me.
Yeah, I totally think he just went there for lifestyle purposes.
Yeah, I on the low. I think that he went there in the assumption that maybe. I'm blanking. D Wade might come out of retirement to play with him for a year.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, because they're good friends, so it makes sense.
They are good friends, and I think part of even if D Wade doesn't come back, I'm sure they're gonna hang out all the time over there.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And I mean, the thing is, their team is pretty average because they got rid of Whiteside. I mean, they have Bam, they have Dragic, who they ended up keeping.
Yeah.
He was going to get shipped away, but he didn't.
Yeah.
They got rid of Josh Richardson, who is a good player. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah. But still, Jimmy Butler's still a big upgrade for them. And they got better.
Yeah. But my consensus on the Heat is they're not going to do shit with this roster. They will not win a playoff series.
They could.
They might win one.
They could. Depending on who they get matched up with.
One at the most.
I think, yeah.
They are not going to deter from, at this point, the 90% guaranteed conference finals of the Sixers and the Bucks next season. The Celtics will not get there.
I'm not a huge fan of the Sixers.
I know you're not, but they're going to get there by default.
I don't even think they get there by default.
Or you think the Pacers are going to have some? Because either the Pacers or Celtics are going to have something to say if they don't get there.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because here's just kind of what I think. The Sixers were only able to stay with the Raptors because of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler would not let the Sixers lose. But who do they have that'll do that?
Well, Tobias Harris, assuming a bigger role, could almost.
No.
I
come
mean,
on.
Josh Richardson is a good player, and
Josh
Al
Richards-
Horford is not bad.
They're not
four.
bad, but I feel like Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick
Is better. Yeah, I know. I forgot about JJ fucking Redick. Okay, they're slightly worse, but honestly, they might be even because they have a lot better of a. Oh wait, no, they don't because they had Tobias at the 4. Yeah, okay, no, they're not as good, but they were able to keep up a good team though.
Plus,
At least in that they didn't lose everything.
Horford's gonna be off the bench, most likely.
I think they're gonna play him at the 4. He's only 6'10". I know he's slow, but
He'll be at the 4. I guess you would have a super big lineup then.
yeah, that's what I think they're gonna do.
But then, like,
Toby and
I just
Richardson and Thingy.
they also don't have a bench.
They do not. So maybe Horford. No, actually, no. Horford won't come off the bench. Have you seen that contract? He's gonna be.
Yeah, but here's kind of my thought process behind it. Like, the Pacers got better, and they had the 5th seed because Oladipo was out. If he wasn't out, they probably would have had a higher seed, and they probably would have beaten the Celtics because the games were close. Obviously, they got swept, but the games were I think none of the games were double digits. If you add Oladipo in that game,
You're right.
That swings by those double digits.
I forget that Oladipo's coming back. I'm gonna predict Sixers Bucks conference finals. So I'm guessing you're gonna predict Bucks Pacers.
Yeah, because here's kind of also something that I thought about. Brogdon is an upgrade over a huge upgrade over Collison, which
they lost Thaddeus Young though, who's not bad. They lost him to the Bulls.
Yeah, but
yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I think he started though.
Yeah, but they'll find somebody. Thaddeus Young is a easily replaceable guy.
Yeah, he kind of is his own archetype. Like, all right, let's just go find another random Thaddeus Young.
You know who they'd replace Thaddeus Young with?
Who?
Sabonis.
Oh yeah.
Sabonis is not just gonna start. I
role.
mean, that's literally all that's just gonna happen. But I'm also something that also really surprised me in the free agency was the fact that Mirotic left. He left the NBA.
Oh yeah, he went overseas.
Yeah,
he's not even bad. That was random.
Yeah,
he's just gonna be like a super stud over there.
Him and Collison, those were the two of the biggest surprises of the free agency signings.
These are like two good players that just walked away. Like Collison had a pretty good season in Indiana.
Yeah.
Mirotic was doing fine on the Bucks. Okay, who was he on before the Bucks? He got traded.
Who?
Mirotic.
Mirotic was on the Bucks. He was on the Pelicans, and then he was also on the Bulls.
Pelicans. Okay. Wait, he was at the Bulls in the beginning of the season.
Oh no, I meant those are the 3 teams he's played for.
Yeah.
My bad.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think he went from Pelicans to Bucks this year or something like that. But anyways, two good players that stepped away.
Yeah. I think
Very fucking random.
I think that's about it for free agency so far of the real notable guys.
We covered a lot, and we'll probably wrap this up that way. We can actually an hour usually is where you can keep your attention span for listeners. So
yeah,
we'll wrap it up, and I think we covered a good amount of shit.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. Thanks everyone for listening to the Oks podcast. Until next time, see you guys later.